We need a counter of how many times we get
But going back to it, so you guys can go ahead and roleplay. I'm gonna assume that you picked up Gragnar first.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Gragnar has no sense of what rations are. He literally eats all food that he gets immediately. I'm gonna say that right now.
Oh no!
So are we like starting, or is this like just a?
This is just an introduce to your characters. So this is how your characters met. Our first interaction is going to be Snack Hit Crusher running into Gragnar. Gragnar, what are you doing out in the middle of nowhere? Like, what is going on?
He's like looking in his bag. He's like, well, I've officially run out of food. Fuck. Honestly, he just wandering around aimlessly out in the middle of nowhere. He's not really sure where to go. His friend was just like, the prophecy, and then like gave him some gold and was like, go. And his first thing he did was eat all of his food immediately, and then just.
So fun fact, in a survival scenario, that's not the worst thing to do. But Snack, you are driving through. You are off-road at this point because the road was essentially suffering from the mountains had partially collapsed onto the road, so you had to go around off land onto the flatlands of the grass. You are essentially working your way from north to south, and you are about 1.5 miles off of the road, getting ready to head back towards it, when you see this kobold just staring into their sack, and like their nose is like half in it as if they're trying to make sure there's nothing else in there. And they're just kind of like they're throwing the bag up and they're like, I guess it's empty.
He's also wearing rags.
Yeah, he looks like he was living under a rock, and he's covered in dirt and a little bit of mud. And it's been a dry season, so you don't even know where the mud came from. But he's just kind of there, and you're getting ready to pass him. What do you do?
So I'm gonna look over and just kind of like stop the cart really quick.
He's never seen a horse. Oh no.
Are you okay out there?
Hold on, let me compose myself.
Are you saying that in common, by the way?
Yeah, I'm saying that in common.
What the fuck are you riding on? What is that? Why does that so many legs?
It's a cart, and this is a horse.
Is it edible?
No. Well, no.
Interesting. Well,
do you need a ride?
I would like a ride. I don't know where I am, and I have run out of food. I'm Gragnar.
Snack.
He like tries to shake your hand, but is like, gets closer and realizes he's much shorter than the cart.
You know what? I was gonna say hop in the back, but I feel like that's offensive. She's gonna step off the cart and like pick him up.
No, I can do it myself.
And she's just going to not put him in the back, but like throw him in the back like cargo.
Oh my god!
And then she's gonna get back on the front and then just start
definitely struggling. He's like, no, I can get in the cart myself.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then.
Oh no!
So I do want to point out.
I'm just gonna keep going.
I do want to point out that this is essentially the cart that you've got going on here. Like,
yeah,
you have a horse, and you're. It's not even a full cart. You've just kind of been sitting on the edge as the horse pulls, and then like you grab him and you just thrust him into the back with like what little rations and food you have.
Oh no, that's your worst idea. Don't do that.
Don't touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it.
Are you trying to intimidate him into not touching the food?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, roll intimidation.
Okay. Do you want me to roll it on 20 or can I roll live dice?
for session 0 live dice.
Okay. So, oh, cool. I get a +1 in my intimidation.
Ooh.
It's a 15.
Okay. Gragnar, what is your charisma?
I literally just had it up and I've already forgotten. Hold on.
I was gonna say, like, it's charisma.
15.
It's
15.
what? It's
15.
So she
on the
matches.
die.
She matches your charisma, which means it has an effect. It's not like she's necessarily terrifying you, but you can definitely tell that she's just like, "Don't touch my food. Do not touch my food." So you have this egg like in the back of your head. You're like, "But I'm hungry." You don't touch it. You don't touch it. You don't touch it. But you're like you got that one sweat gland like. Coles don't even sweat, but he's got that one drop like right down the side of his face. Like,
Oh no.
Okay. Okay. And so
then I'll keep going.
Okay, so you keep going. Okay. You're going. You start seeing the town, and as you start seeing the town, you see in the distance what appears to be another half orc who is traveling on her own. But like you can tell that like you're getting closer to town. You can kind of see it. It's about 2 miles out. It's right on the horizon. And there are other carts and stuff going by, but some people are kind of speeding up as they see this person. They recognize it as a half orc. You're quite familiar with the whole thing of people realizing that you're a half orc and just speeding up and getting away. And so you see them. You see this person sitting there, walking down the way, and as you get closer, there's one more cart in front of you, and they kind of pull up, and they're just kind of like, "Hey, do you need a ride, young lady?" And it's this half elf who it just appears to be really full of himself. You need a ride?
Oh god.
Who are they talking to?
Bolton's got her great axe, kind of like resting on her shoulder. And actually, DM, I do want to ask, because Boltham was raised by dwarves, can I get proficiency in Dwarvish language?
Yes, I will give you proficiency in Dwarvish language, because that is character driven. That's something else, guys. If you have things that you want added to your character because due to their story, that's something that would be there, bring it up to me and we'll talk about it.
Alright.
Proficiency in extra language isn't too much. But like if you're like, "Oh, I would definitely know about this," okay, we can go ahead, go over that and notate that in there.
All right.
Like I said, my goal is to essentially go through everyone's backstories. I know a lot of people sent me stuff. Other people are still working on it. But like, just get me your backstories one way or another, and we'll go from there.
Right.
But yes, you would.
So
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, she's just got this great axe like sitting on her shoulder, and she like looks over at him. And is this female or male?
This is a male elf. It's almost so with half elves, they're fairly androgynous, but this one is definitely got like a little goatee. He's got a little more human blood in him. He's got this little goatee going on that he's like obviously primmed and trimmed and made look as fancy as possible.
And acting cocky.
Yeah, he's just acting cocky. He has a large cart. Like
Okay,
you guys
so
have
like both of them is like seriously pierced.
Yeah, no, he's into it.
And-
He's
Oh, he's into it. Okay.
he's like
gonna look-
that's why he like pulls his cart over. He's like, "Hey, sup? You need a ride?"
Yeah, she's gonna look up at him and be like, "Sorry, you don't got the fixtures." And keep walking.
Oh.
And as you walk forward, as you walk forward, he's like, "I know a wizard who knows polymorph."
She's not even gonna react. She's just gonna keep going.
Fuck. And like he kind of slows down a little bit as like the other cart pulls up. And again, he's got this fancy, like really nicely made cart. Obviously, he's like some noble's family member or something like that, if not a noble himself. And as your cart pulls up, Snack, he looks over and he double takes. He goes, "Hey, wait, because you just keep going, and he's just like, okay,
Yep.
all right.
And I notice the other cart pulling around him.
Yeah, you would notice the other cart because they're kind of they're
So
going
I'm
at a
gonna
faster
look
pace.
so I'm gonna look at him, roll my eyes, and then I'm gonna look at Snack's cart and kind of jog up and tap the side of it.
I'm gonna kind of just look over to the side and slow down.
Because I can see
wait,
she's a half orc.
Mhm.
wait.
And I'm gonna
You from around here?
I've up in the mountains.
Oh, I lived on the shores. I don't see very many of our kind around here.
Our kind, their kind. Doesn't matter what kind.
This is true.
I don't. That guy seems creepy as fuck.
Oh,
Mind if I catch
very.
your ride?
Yeah.
And
go.
as you both
Jump
kind
in the
of
back with the little whatever that is.
and as you
I'm not eating anything, but I'm definitely looking through all of your stuff.
He's giving the Grinch look.
he's like going through stuff, and he's like, man, I wish I could say Santa, bye bye.
Both of them's gonna like. I'm gonna prop my arm up and kind of like volley my way over and like flump into the cart, and then I'm gonna look at this little thing in front of me.
I'm like head deep in a bag. I'm not even kidding.
you see this bag of what looks like potatoes has fallen over, and you just see two nubs sticking out, kind of kicking, and it's his back legs as he's like
Can I
trying to
pick
see
him
if
up
there's.
by his legs?
So
just, like, hold him up?
If you can go ahead. Are you going to
I'll roll
struggle with
strength.
somebody? If someone like randomly grabs your ankles, are you going to struggle with that?
Oh, most definitely. I'm going further into the potato sack.
Okay, so I need you to. So you're gonna roll strength. I need you to roll like dexterity because you're in a very dexterous position. So I need you to be like, trying to flex your way, like kicking, screaming, trying to get back into. Like you're not escaping anything. If anything, you're putting yourself in worse predicament. But you're just you don't care about that.
Okay, we see how these dice are gonna roll. Oh lord.
So first
Hold
off,
on, let me
what is your
double
strength
check.
check? Wolfram, what is your strength check?
I rolled a 20.
Well,
Wow.
I had no
yeah.
hope. I had no hope.
Rip.
there's your free D20 for tonight.
Okay, let's see. What did I roll? That is a whopping 6.
So you start kicking and screaming, but in doing so, you're more, the bag starts shaking, the potatoes go everywhere, but you get pulled out, and you're like held by your ankles, and you're just like, and your eyes are like darting, almost lizard style, everywhere.
I didn't eat any of them. I was just looking.
And finally, your eyes settle on this brand new half-orc, who is now in front of you, and you're just kind of like, where did this person come? You did not notice them getting in the cart.
Not at all. It makes it worse, and I'm pretty sure he's never seen a half orc either.
Well, he just saw one. One just picked
Other
him
than
up.
you.
You know what? You've had occasional run-ins only because your clan has run into other clans who.
Wait, am I in
Mhm.
Lustrious cart or Beck's cart?
You're
I'm
in
not-
Beck's cart. You're
Yeah, I
in Beck's
haven't.
cart.
I'm not in here
Right,
yet.
so Beck is
Yeah.
also a
Half orc. Yeah.
half orc.
So
So he has seen a half orc.
Yeah, in this moment, he's seen a half orc. He's heard of them. His clan has talked about the Great Green, but like that's about it.
Green? Is that what you're calling us?
So, combat language is actually pretty simple, even
Very
compared
simple.
to other languages, and it's very much like the Great Greens have come for our land. Run!
The claw!
Quick, get the pits! The pits! The pits! The pits! They just start throwing. They have like pre-dug holes that they're throwing leaves on top of, even though they live underground. There's no plants. It's like Very smart, but very dumb.
Yeah.
Also, kobolds are terrifying with their pack tactics.
If
that's
they're
beside the
in
point.
if they're in their lair, they're horrifying.
Oh yeah, no, don't fight. If you're chasing a kobold, that's a bad idea.
No.
Same thing with goblins. But going back to the story, you guys are now like you Snack, you hear him screaming bloody murder. Whether you decide to turn around or not, you hear him screaming bloody murder, and he starts screaming, "I didn't eat it! I promise I didn't eat it! Oh my god!" And then he gets dead quiet because he locks on to this new half orc that he's seen. He's
I'm
now
sure
met
it's
2
fine.
half orcs in like 30 minutes.
You're not the other green one.
I'm not green.
I'm just gonna drop him. Like, release my hands and let him fall on his fucking head.
He falls like roll a dex save, see if you even like
We'll find out.
The height difference, you know.
That is a 9.
So you land on all fours almost like a cat does, but like immediately your hands slide out from underneath you because you've landed on those bags of potatoes. So you land safely, but your like belly and your legs and arms are all spread out, so you look like a rug. Like you're
In
just
the pile of
Oh, Lord.
potatoes.
You
And
could just
I've
put me
never-
down.
I've heard of dragons, but I've never seen one this small.
I am
thought
a
he was just
dragon.
a regular
Thank you
gecko.
very much. I'm not a gecko. We eat geckos.
Oh, cannibal.
Are you here to talk to me about my car's extended warranty?
Watch your profanity.
all right. And
Sorry.
so in this very small cart, like all this is happening, so the cart's shaking and things like that. Seraphina, you are walking, and like you have essentially hitchhike.
Mhm.
You're on the back of a cart for merchants.
Mhm.
You have your hood up, because you've stated that you want to keep your identity as quiet as possible.
Yeah.
You have your hood up. The driver is just kind of whistling. He's kind of having a good time, but about a mile out from the town, his tire, you hear this weird creak as the cart just suddenly jerks towards one direction. And you almost fall off. You hold on. You've been bracing yourself this whole time. And the cart comes to a sudden stop. What do you do?
Jesus Christ! Do you not know how to drive a cart?
I do apologize, miss. It's the tire. Apparently one of the spindles decided to go out. I'll try to get it taken care of as soon as possible. I do apologize. I'm sorry. It's an old cart. It's a family heirloom of sorts. And it's this short, like, dwarven man who's very old, but also very thin for a dwarf. He's very thin for a dwarf, almost as if like he's malnutritioned.
I was like, that's not normal for a dwarf.
Not
They
at
eat
all.
Party. They eat meat.
And he hops down and he kind of waddles, and you can tell he has a bit of a limp in one leg. He kind of waddles over to the cart and he looks at it and do you get out of the cart at all, or are you still sitting there as it's like
Yeah, she's
tilted at
gonna-
a 45?
Yeah, she's gonna kind of be like, ugh, and then kind of get out of the cart and look at the tire with them. So what the fuck happened?
So it's not that like the spindle itself went. It looks as if the bracing, there's 4 of these wheels, a lot of them have either metal or rubber bracing around them to hold them and give traction. This one had a metal bracing that appears the soldering on it has completely gone. And what happened is when that popped, the wheel itself got caught and the metal fucked up some of the bracers. So the
Mhm.
wheel is completely damaged.
Okay.
And again, you can see the city a mile out. You could walk it. And he's left sitting there scratching his head. And he kind of yells into the cart, "Junior! Junior!" And you're, yeah, what's up, Gramps? What's happening? What happened? You didn't wake up from the cart? Fuck, what the fuck? I've been up for like 3 days, Gramps. You only drove today. I don't give a shit. Get out of here. I'm not gonna make this young lady do the work. What work? And he gets out. He looks at it. He goes, I can't fix that. What do you mean you can't fix that? That's not something you can just yell mending at, Gramps. That's fucked. And the grandfather just kind of snuffs him, and he's like, that's your father, and you're talking. Like, oh, Dad's human, and all of a sudden you gotta be an asshole about it. Like, yes, and your dad was a poor prick.
Seraphina's gonna interject me. All right. So, what's the first thing we need to do? What?
Well, this was the backup. So
this was the backup wheel.
This was the backup wheel, and as you were talking, both Bull from Snack and Gragnar, you're pulling up, and you see this cart that's like busted. You see this thin dwarven man, bald with his long beard that's white, and you see what looks like this like sort of stout human. He's built better than the old man, but he's like pointing at it. You see them arguing, and then you see Seraphina kind of like, what can we do? And again, the old man goes, this was the backup.
Would I recognize the old skinny man at all?
You would. He is a merchant that travels between the mountains and here in order to trade precious stones in the raw form for the mining companies.
Ooh.
So,
do I hear this conversation that they're having about the wheel?
You all hear it. They are so loud. They are just the loudest, like, bickering family you've ever met.
Do I know his name?
Roll history, because that's something that you would have to remember. You've never interacted with him directly.
All right, so
Just
history.
as an FYI, I would be pulling over.
Okay.
To
You
help.
pull over.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds like a distraction. I'm stealing a potato.
Sleight of hand.
So you roll sleight of hand, good sir.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it. Let's go.
Knocks over the whole fucking potato bag.
He already did.
What are these rolls? Ah! Dear God, my dice are fucking me. That is a whopping 5.
Well,
So,
at least it's not a 1.
So here's the thing. So Bolfram is sitting in the cart. She sees this dwarven man is trying to remember who he is, and you basically hop up, and you're like right in front of her, and you're just like, you go, like your gremlin statue, like, and you say out loud, sounds like a distraction. You grab 2 of them, and you just put them in your mouth raw.
Oh no.
And
I'm gonna look at him and just be like,
turn
if you
around.
want a potato, I will give you one.
Yeah, Snack turns around, and you're just like, you lock eyes with her with 2 large potatoes just hanging out of your mouth. You're just like, you contemplate whether you should swallow or spit them out. That's something
Just like slowly starts chewing them.
Oh no.
I am going to smack them out of his hand, just like.
No, they're
full
in his
force.
mouth. They're in his mouth. He has 2 large potatoes just sticking in his
I
mouth.
know what I said.
Did I stutter?
And Seraphina, you see this cart pull up, and you hear this scream. It sounds like a distraction. And as you turn around, you see these 2 half-orcs in this cobalt middle cart kind of surrounded, and he gets backhanded upside the back of his head. And he just spits out like chunks of a raw potato.
She's just kind of gonna stare at them, just very confused, and ask, "What? Are you guys here to help, or are you just gonna sit there yelling at each other like these dinguses?"
I haven't.
Bulma's gonna jump out.
Here to help. I don't even know you.
I am an expert at repairing carts and ships, so I may be able to help. Yes.
That would be ideal.
Okay. So
Bulma's I'm just strong. Would he recognize her as she was the only orc in a dwarven clan?
So, did you roll your history check?
I did. I got a 6, so I didn't recognize him, but would he recognize me?
So he turns around and he looks at you, and he goes, "Well, holy shit! If it isn't the giantess herself!" And he walks up and, like, again, he's this thin dwarven man, and he holds out his hand. And even though he's thin, he's still got this big hand that's kind of, it looks like it's been worked his entire life. And he just holds it out to you. I believe Bullfrem, oh, what is your name, darling?
I reach out and I like take his hand, shake it.
Okay.
Mom
And
called me Bullfrem.
Bullfrem. And a dwarven shake is actually, you know, where you grab like the inner part of the hand and you shake like this. The forearm grab.
wrist.
Yeah, the wrist grab. So you both wrist grab and shake. And he goes, Bullfrem, would you happen to have an extra wheel? And the thing is, like, Snack, you know you don't have an extra wheel. This was a rental cart, and it was a cheap one at that. You knew that if this broke down at any point, you were pretty much going to have to abandon it.
Yeah.
How far away are you away from town?
You're about a mile out.
Right. What do they have in their carts?
They have raw minerals, so they have barrels full of like stone and
How
other
heavy do you
things.
think it is?
Too heavy for your cart. That much I can tell you. They have
No,
a large
I
cart.
was asking.
Yeah.
Seraphina, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, well, we could all take a ride on this cart to town, but it looks rather small.
I do have a suggestion if y'all are up for it. You could simply take one of my front wheels and connect our cart to the back of yours. That way you can connect our wheel to your cart and you can just pull us along, and then I'll take the wheel back when we get back to town.
You're
That could
offering
work.
to basically jerry rig it.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a two-wheeled cart. Essentially, if you were to detach your horse, you could try to like put the wood rails that hold the horse onto it and lift it up.
Mhm.
It would be rickety as all get out. You'd be going fairly slowly. And you would need to find some way of binding it. Do you guys have rope or anything like that?
I have some rope.
If we kicked Gragnar out, does she like? Do you think both of them could carry the one side
Yeah,
of the
that's what I
back
was.
cart
Mhm.
to even it out?
So you would want to go ahead and lift the broken wheel and essentially walk it, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's not too far from town, so it wouldn't be too much of
Yeah, it's just a
it wouldn't
mile.
be too taxing.
And if it's just
What you are a half orc. Do you have the feat that allows you to basically count as carry things one size larger?
I don't think I have any feats. We're at level 1, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a feat. I think it's an orc trait. But
Let me check.
because you're a medium creature, but you might be able to carry things as a large.
Let's see.
Oh.
I do have inspiration though.
I do have a skill called was it that, I can travel overland twice as long without tiring, so that might
Relentless
help.
endurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we both have that.
Yeah,
So
we
if-
do
if
both
you
have that.
Both work together. Both from roll with advantage because you're getting help from Snack. The two of you essentially you detach your horse.
Mhm.
Okay. And what you do is you take part of the cart that was on, and you kind of sit there and you're like, this is old rickety cart. You take, you don't detach the horse. You leave the horse there, but the rod that sticks out, holds the wheel, sticks out hot long enough that both of you can kind of like grab it and lift it. I need you to roll strength, Bullfrem, with advantage.
While she's rolling that,
Excuse me.
the horse, I am gonna offer to Seraphina so that she can ride the horse and guide it, since nobody's gonna be driving the cart.
I can do that.
All right. So Seraphina, I also need an animal handling, and we'll say that since Snack is essentially getting you up on the horse, we'll say that this time you have advantage as well. Snack is kind of using the help action at 2 different times.
Okay, so
Yes.
I would double The
You roll twice, and then you take the highest one plus your
Okay,
animal.
that's right.
handling.
Yep.
So while you're doing that,
Two.
Bullfrom, what is your?
Oh, I have +1 on animal handling, so I guess I'll take the
That's
19. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a 19 on animal handling. Bullfrom, what is your strength?
Strength. +3.
Okay, so you roll 2 20s and then take the highest one and add your +3.
I mean,
Yes, we shall consume the
or-
horse.
roll 20.
It's my
Already
evil
rolled
plan all
low
along.
for me.
Oh, okay, I see it. So you had a 20
And an 18.
and an 18. So you'll take
Ooh.
advantage. So you have the 20, all right? And what you'll do is essentially you both. So first off, because we're doing things in order, you Snack, you pet your horse and you kind of introduce Seraphina to the horse, and she gets up on the horse and you kind of like gently pet it as it's getting used to her being on the back, and
So I'm just petting it like this is Daisy. She's
Yeah.
very well mannered. She's a very good horse. Just don't tug too hard or she gets upset.
I would hope so, because I have never been great with riding horses.
All right.
This will be a piece of cake.
You have a slight flashback to the last time with your family estate where you tried to ride a horse, and you remember seeing the sky and being on the floor, and that was pretty good.
But did she
How
punch
dare
the
you
horse?
take my story of getting kicked off of a horse?
It's mine
going-
now.
Going into that strength check, you both grab that side, and as you lift, it's still heavy. Like even with that 20, you both doing it with max strength, it's heavy.
Mhm.
It's probably about a ton, a literal ton of weight-wise of stone and minerals. And
Oof.
as you walk by, you see
Wait.
that
Who are we?
Well,
Wait,
I thought we were
doing the
carrying
little cart.
little cart. Yeah.
We gave them the wheel.
Yeah,
The
we
wheel-
gave them the wheel and then
Oh.
we're carrying the little cart.
Okay. So you give them your wheel. My bad, I misunderstood. You gave
And we
them your
kicked
wheel.
we kicked Ragnar out.
What?
Yeah, he can-
What?
he can go-
Why?
If we're carrying a cart, you can fucking walk.
I weigh 20 pounds.
I have an idea.
He literally
So
weighs
Zach is
the
gonna
same
walk
as-
over to Gragnar and she's gonna lift him up by his scruff, and she's gonna
Right.
put him in
I
front
don't
of
have any
Seraphina
scruff. I
on the
have
horse.
freaking rag somewhere.
Wait, he's gonna do what? You're gonna do what?
I'm gonna put Gragnar on the horse with Seraphina, but like sitting in front of him, and I kind of like pat him on the head and give him like almost like a little seat belt. I take off my belt and I attach him to Seraphina's waist.
Whoa,
that he
hold on.
can't
What is
fall off?
happening?
I have the
We have a
sneaking
small
suspicion
child.
I have the sneaking suspicion that I'm being treated like a child. I am a grown kobold, I will have you know.
Right.
So Seraphina,
course you
she
are.
is Seraphina. Snack is trying to attach this random cobalt to the front of you to sit on the horse, so that they can carry the cart with as little weight as possible. She literally just walks up, drops him in front of you on the horse, and then takes her belt off and goes to strap him to your waist.
She's gonna.
What do you do?
She's gonna stop her with the belt and be like, I think I can hold him. I don't want him attached to me. Thank you.
Oh, okay, that's fair. And I put my belt back on, and I walk over to Bolfum, and I start helping.
Okay. So you both grab the cart, and this is much smaller, much lighter. You essentially lift up the cart on one side, and the both of you are essentially walking it to the front of this gate now. And you get to about this point when there appears to be like a town guard or two that are just kind of sitting at this small little building
Jeez.
right here at the edge. They're keeping an eye out. And they look out and they see this odd bunch. They see a merchant they recognize who is berating the crap out of his grandson about how useless he is and how two wonderful young ladies had to step up where he couldn't.
Does Seraphina recognize any of the guards?
So you do not. These
Okay.
appear to be Crown's Guard or Royal Guards, which are different than than what you would know.
Okay.
You know that your family has had dealings with them, but they don't carry any crest you recognize.
Mhm.
And you are actually, the location of this place is so far removed from the royal city as well as your family's estate, which is fairly close to the royal city, that you assume you won't run into any foot soldiers or anything like that, anyone that you would recognize.
Okay.
Basically, you can assume that you're far enough out because you've gone as far out as possible,
All right.
that you're on the outskirts. This mining town is on the outskirts of civilization.
Okay.
The two guards kind of stand up, and they're crowns guards for this small town, and you can tell that their gear isn't well kept. They're not sparkling like if you were in the city. They're covered in dirt, and they got mud on their pants. They seem like they're fairly rough and tumble. And they kind of look up and they wave you guys down. What's going on? What's this? Why do you? Is your cart all right? And almost surprisingly, he doesn't seem to care much that like half orcs, a kobold, and these merchants he knows are all traveling oddly. He's just kind of like genuinely worried.
Well, as you can see, the cart is not okay, sir.
What happened? And the old man perks up. Oh, these wonderful ladies decided to step up where my grandson couldn't. You see, our wheel broke, and they gave us all their wheel, and then they proceeded to escort us here. Strong ladies like this, it's hard to come by. And he just kind of starts ranting, and the guard goes, "Oh God, no." Oh no! You can see his eyes kind of gloss over as it's almost like he's been through this multiple times before. The old man starts like retailing every detail, and he's just like, I get it. And the other Crown's guard goes, well, if you would like, we can actually go ahead. We can take these carts for you and get them repaired if you have coin enough to fix them, and then we'll go ahead and like get them to a place, the local inn, if you like.
Well, how much coin are you talking?
Well, I mean, and the old man cuts him off. He's like, it's our cart that's broken. We'll cover all damages. And he looks at the ladies, and we'll cover the first night for them at the end as well as thank you for everything they're doing. And the guard goes, all right. Well,
Wolfham's gonna look down at the dwarf, and like kind of like put her arm around his shoulder and say, "No, family's family."
Yes, and family deserves to be treated as such. Thus, it is my treat. And he just kind of winks at you, and he slaps you on the back, and he kind of like
probably. I mean, how tall is he? Because
he's half.
Is he gonna be able to reach? Is he gonna be able to reach my back?
He can reach your back. Thank you. He's
like
a dwarf, not a gnome.
Oh, Lord.
He's a dwarf. He's an average-sized dwarf, which is about 4 foot 5, and he slaps the center of your back, and he kind of like stretches a bit, and he proceeds to pull out of his pocket a small bag, and he kind of rummages through, and he hands you all 2 gold. This gold he hands over to Bulfram, and then he turns to Miss Seraphina. Ma'am, I am so sorry for the inconvenience. I know we offered to carry you the entire way, and you had actually agreed to like a payment for him to like get you here, and he turns around, he gives you don't make any change to your money because essentially it's going to stay the same. He just gives you the 4 silver back that you had paid him initially for the travel.
Also holds out his hand. Do I get the shinies as well?
And he leans in and he says, "Of course, shinies," and he drops 2 copper in your hand.
Yes.
Seraphina's gonna look
gonna
to
hand him. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so Seraphina's gonna look to the dwarf?
2 whole gold.
Yes, he's a dwarf.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's just
Moving
gonna
up in
hand
the
him the
world.
silver back. I don't need it. You need it more than I do. Just, it's fine.
And he turns around and he looks at you, and wide-eyed for a second, he laughs. He's like, "Did you even look in the back of the cart?" And he like pulls open the cart, and you see what looks to be like gold nuggets in stone, and like there's like a half a barrel of platinum back there. Like,
Oh,
I'm not hurting for nothing, honey. and he just hands it to you.
I'm in the wrong line of work.
Merchandising, and he like holds up his finger in that money sign, and he goes, I run a very small but lucrative business, and Bullfrom, you know that's bullshit. This man actually is the head of one of the mines out of the mountain. It's not small at all. You've seen him because you know he does stuff, and he occasionally brings up raw material, which is his cut of the work, and he sells it himself.
I'm gonna keep that information myself.
Oh,
and like kind of wink at him.
and he winks back, and he's just like, he turns around to his grandson, and after smiling, he immediately frowns. Get it moving.
I'm gonna tell him though, real quick.
Mm.
I think that grandson of yours ought to help some of our people in the mines, maybe get him a little stronger. And she's gonna flex.
Oh, honey, he doesn't have the constitution for it. And he goes, what you talking about? Just how you're more of a manager than a worker. You have your place, and it's not on the ground floor. And his grandson looks kind of hurt, like, I can lift things. He's like, yeah, but when you put them down, it's more like dropping and shattering. Keep moving, you klutz. And his grandson just
If
kind
you'll
of goes,
ever
"Oh."
need help, you could always ask.
Oh, way to be most thankful. We can take care of your car, get it to the inn. And he literally points down the road to on the map you'll see C. That is that is the Deb's Diner. He's like, if y'all want to go down there and just talk to Deb, she'll be able to get you to Traveler's Haven directly across and get you a room.
I will take that.
All right.
I'll take that into note.
Okay.
I'm gonna
And he-
reach out one more time in a dwarven handshake, and then be like, and what shall I call you again?
The name is Francis. It's
Francis.
It's Francis. Basically, my wife couldn't speak Dwarven for her life.
I'm gonna call him Franny.
I picture him. He's like sitting in the cart again, and you just see his eyes. I'm gonna call him Franny. Like, taking over.
It like glosses over again.
But like with potatoes, like, so it's more like, I'm gonna call Franny.
Yeah, he's eating Beer stock. Francis goes. He almost shivers at the thought of being called Franny, but then proceeds that these people have helped me. Like that look goes across his face. He's like, and he smiles again. He's like, sure. And then he proceeds to talk with the the guards as you all are now in the town of Tanot. For whatever reason, you guys have been traveling out and away from your homes, and you've come to this place in order to go ahead and try to find answers, to try to find freedom, to try to find anything that is yours. Whatever reasons you're here now, and you've now officially met your group and your party. You can decide if you want to go ahead and stick together, or if you want to try to get your own rooms. We can try to roleplay that if you want. We can roleplay the rooms.
Sure.
But you're... Okay.
But whatever else anybody else wants to do.
Do you guys want to continue roleplay for a little bit, or do you want to, since you've got your group together, call it a
Hell
night?
yeah.
I'm down with roleplay.
I'm down.
I can do probably maybe another half hour, but I gotta be up at like 6, so.
Mhm.
Okay, so we will
Sounds good.
roleplay this fairly quickly. We'll be done next 15. So, you all proceed to move your way down to Deb's Diner, and as you get to the door, you see that it's almost like this old saloon, you know, where you have like the rocking chair out front with somebody half asleep there. It's an older gentleman, really thin, and he's just kind of slightly rolling back and forth in his seat with his hat tilted in his face, overalls, and what appears to be like a bottle sitting in his lap, empty. He appears to be like half there. As you get to the door, you hear a ruckus on the inside. The old man jumps up almost like he's scared. You hear crashing, you hear yelling, and then you see the door swing open as this young man is thrown out. But what appears to be a very stalking halfling woman in her 40s, she absolutely just yanks this like 5'8", 5'9" human out. And she says, and if you think you're gonna get a room for free this night, I'll wreck your fucking life. This place is a good, well thought out establishment, and I have worked my entire life to make it function. You think that you come up in here, you're gonna wave fake gold around? Plated shit? And she takes like a handful of what looks like gold coins and chucks it at the guy. And he goes, I'm sorry.
Wow, what a fucker. Imagine
Yeah.
giving people fake gold.
Yeah, and she kicks the dirt at him, and she turns around, and what are you doing? I was taking a nap. Yeah, and some good you are. Get up in here. I need you to clean up the tables. Yes, ma'am. And he gets up, and she slaps his ass as he goes by. And he goes in, and she stops, and she looks at this guy who's like picking up his fake gold coins, and he's like getting ready to run off. And he starts running towards town, and she goes, you run the other way. If I catch you in town, I'll kick your ass again, and I'll get everybody else to get in on it. And he goes, and he kind of runs into the travelers, what do I call it? The traveler's haven, where he busts through the door, and she stops, and she brushes herself off, and she rolls her shoulders, and she goes, and she sees you. Oh, hello, dearies. How can I be? Yes.
We'd like some rooms, yeah.
But as long as you don't have any fake gold, I'm more than happy to help you. And she
Who the
just
fuck
waves you.
keeps fake things. What?
You're fucking telling me. And she just like waves you guys in, and she turns around and she collects herself after saying that. Like it's almost this distinct change between scorn and then peaceful calmness. and she just walks in.
Well, Francis told us to come here. Something about us getting a room.
Oh, and she goes, "Oh, Francis sent you." Oh,
Yeah,
that
Franny sent us.
Are you Deb?
Yes. Well, I'm Deb, and my mother was Deb, and my grandmother was Deb. We've been running this business for a while. And she proceeds to kind of, again, clean herself off. And she goes, Francis sent you. He probably gave you some gold for it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
he gave me some silver.
Okay. So she goes, well, the rooms are only 2 silver a piece a night. So he probably gave you some gold to cover it because he usually tries to cover for a week's expenses. And the way she says that makes it sound like he's covered people before. And the way she says it is,
just put the 2 gold in her hand.
she goes, right, all right. Well, how many rooms are you want? I see what appears to be 3 ladies. And she looks at the kobold. 4
Hi.
ladies? 5?
No. I am
do
Ragnar.
That's our potato.
What? No, I was not allowed to have potatoes, so I am not a potato. I am a fully grown kobold. Thank you very much.
Anyway,
he's a chili
I would prefer a room myself, if that is all right.
Of course. So that'll be 2 silver. And she puts it in her pocket, and then she starts like reaching in the other pocket, and you can tell that she has like silver and copper in that pocket, almost like a change bag.
Mhm.
And she's like, anyone else? You want your own rooms, or do you want a room together?
Both of them will look down at Ragnar and I'll take that one.
I'll take my own room.
Okay, so 3 rooms. That's gonna be a total of 6. And so she goes, excuse me. Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
Oof. And she goes,
"Ugh."
and she goes, okay. And the minimal is 3 night stay. Is that all right?
Shouldn't be a
fine.
problem.
All right. That's gonna be 6 gold. That's gonna be. And she kind of like pulls her hands in there, and it's like, okay. And forgive me, my brain left me on the transition from gold to silver because
I was
fucking.
actually just thinking. You posted the link in the Discord, remember?
There we go. So like 1 gold equals 20 silver. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my calculator real quick. I actually at one point had a So 1 gold equals 20 silver and 2 electrum.
I thought it was just like the 10 all the way up. That's what I've been doing for years.
So that is the shorthand a lot of people use
Okay.
because it simplifies things.
Yeah, I suck at math, so I like to do the simple.
I actually at one point had a D&D calculator for funds in my on my computer, and I completely redid everything, and I don't have that anymore.
I guarantee you, I would still get the number wrong with a calculator.
All right, so let me go ahead. I'm gonna clear this, and so it's 6 times 3. That's gonna be 18. And so she goes ahead and hands you back 1 gold and 2 copper. She's like, "Would you like that to be split between you all, or would you like that just as a whole?" And she's like holding the change in her hand real quick.
Wait, what was the
give
question?
it-
I'm sorry.
She's asking you how you want the money divided. Do you want the money divided among the group, or do you want to just be handed back the 2 gold and 2 copper or 2 silver?
Paid for by Francis, so
Yeah.
I'm not part of this. And I take a
Yeah,
step
can we
back.
can we put it like
Grabby hands.
In a-
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm gonna wrap my
And I
wrap
push him
my
down.
palm around his mouth.
I'll take it. I'll take it. And he's still shaking his head.
Meanwhile, he's got like another face on his eyes, just like.
Might we keep it with you until we leave, or until we owe you more?
like a prepaid tab.
Correct.
I'll take it, and she just drops it back in her pocket, like, yeah, fuck. I made 2 gold today. That's more than I've seen in a long time. And she just fucking walks in, and she walks.
Question.
Yes.
I have been traveling for quite a while. I've come from the nearest port town. I would like to have a sit down at a saloon and perhaps have some coffee or rum if they have it.
Yes.
Well, this is the fancy establishment. And she waves her hands as you see that there's like dust everywhere, and it's like it's clean, but it's not the cleanest. She's like, if you're looking for like the hole in the wall, and I mean the hole in the wall.
It really doesn't matter. So long as I can get a good drink, I'm fine.
Okay. And she goes, all right. And so what she does, she proceeds to just pour you an ale right then and there. And she wipes down the seat. She picks up a seat, and you can assume this was a seat she threw the human off of, and wipes it down and sets it down in front. She also goes ahead and grabs the 3 room keys and gives them to you. We are at 1 floor. The first 3 rooms are actually empty. Those are your 3 rooms. Split them up as you see fit. And then she proceeds to go ahead and wave down what appears to be a young lady who is also a halfling. She runs up and smiles and goes, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, we have 3 rooms that are now in use by these 4 individuals. Make sure to go ahead and make sure the rooms are clean and just spick and span, all right? And she nods really quickly, and she says, we'll have them ready for you in about 30-40 minutes. If you just want to sit down and have a good meal.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful.
And she stops for a second as she looks at you all, and she finally clicks with her, and she sees these 2 half-orcs standing in front of her. And she almost kind of shrinks a little bit. And then she looks and she sees the kobold, who is like got raw potato bits all over his face, and he's wrapped in rags. And she's like,
dirt.
yeah, and she looks over at the owner, and the owner just goes, "Don't ask." So she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she looks over at Seraphina, who you still have your hood up, but like she looks over, and you look fairly normal compared to the rest of this group, and she's just like, and she just kind of like slowly backs away and then goes, and she's probably about 12 or 13 years old. You can tell that she's fairly young. But she runs off and like opens the first door, and the way the door opens is to where you can't see in the room, and it like opens outward. But then you see her peek from around the corner again, just like looking at all
I just
four of you.
wave.
She ducks in real quick. She's like nervous. The door slams.
I'm gonna look over at Snack.
Hmm.
Are
Okay.
you gonna get that? You gonna get that stuff out of your cart, or you gonna leave it out there all night?
So
That's a good plan, and I immediately walk out.
the owner proceeds to look at you, and she goes, "Well, if you need a place to store it, we have a shed out back. It's a silver to go ahead and use it for storage for items that are large, and copper for like it's like 3 copper for like personal items."
Now get off the tab we gave you.
Alrighty, and she goes ahead and she just pulls out a piece of paper, slaps it on there, and just goes like write something out, and then you can see her do a big check mark.
So
Are we also crossing food off the tab?
Up until 2 gold is used up, little man.
Oh no.
Have I let go of his mouth yet?
You can assume that what you had just covered it. You didn't clasp it. You covered it, and so he kind of just moves to the side slightly.
Oh no, he has like a full-on snout.
So I'm gonna grab whatever sacks of food that I had left in the cart, and then kind of just bring it inside periodically.
And
I don't think I had a lot. I had a few rations here or there.
Yeah, you had about enough travel rations to get to the city, and I do want to point out that the nearest port is like 3-4 weeks out. So you've been traveling for a
Yeah.
while on your own.
Yeah.
Again, you are so far from civilization at this point. This is a mining town. It looks like that like they're well enough off in this area of the town that like it's fine, but like it doesn't appear that like this side of town gets much in the end of like travelers.
Mhm.
And she proceeds to go ahead and where she pointed out it would be, you see it. It's unlocked. You can go ahead and put it in there, and
Ooh.
you see a couple city guard. These are different than the guards at the front, the night guards, or like
Mhm.
this. So you have the crown guard and you have city guard, and the crown guard are essentially the guys who report any big events that happen to like bigger cities, so that they can send out people like the lawmaster and things like that. But you see basically volunteers also standing guard at this post, and you kind of tell them what's going on, and they go, "Oh, all right, go ahead, put it in there." And they check it off on their list that it's in there, and they take note of everything in your cart for you. So they're making sure that it's all there and everything, so that when you come back, and they just hand you a receipt basically saying that when you come back, this is what you'll show us to get it back. So
Okay.
you're gonna want to write down that you have a receipt that your rations and your cart are in that storage.
Got it.
All right. And for the most part, you guys haven't lost any money at all at the beginning of this, so you don't have to worry about that. But we will end the session with that saying that you all sit down, have a good meal, and we can either start the next session where you sit down, have a good meal, or we can start the session the next day. That'll be something we discuss then. But congratulations, session 0 is done.
Yay.
Woo!
And we even got some roleplay in.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Again, if
trying
you
to
guys
remember Ragnar.
Again, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. If there's anything you feel that could have been better. This was a bit more improv than usual for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted to wing it if you guys were willing to wing it. So
Session zeros are usually pretty clunky, but I feel like it's gonna be pretty good. I think we have pretty good chemistry.
I
all
loved
right.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad everybody had fun.
I'm gonna have way too much fun with Gragnar.
I mean,
Oh,
I mean,
everyone
so-
already loves Ragnar, so.
So I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons that I don't mind being the DM is that I enjoy, like, as much as I like playing characters, I don't mind being a forever DM because I get to play all the characters I would never get to play otherwise.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's basically unrestricted. No one can tell me a character concept's out of it, because if I decide that a 6 foot tall lollipop man is going to be running around singing doody 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 dee doo, y'all just got to
I
deal
do
with
that.
it. Y'all just
If I
got to
do
deal
that
with
shit,
it.
I do that all the time.
If I decide a 4-foot tall Goliath walks into a bar, a 4-foot tall Goliath walks into a bar.
He has dwarfism. It's fine. It's a glandular problem.
Are you saying being a dwarf is a problem? And thus the bar fight starts.
Whoever throws the kobold first started the fight.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
You see Gragnar with a potato flying through the air.
I got
potato on the
What we do
room.
is we order like liquor so we can make Molotov cocktail flying kobold.
Oh,
Hell
no.
yeah.
And
No,
all
no, no.
this-
We
all you
tie a
do-
rope to his foot and we use him like a flail.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my god.
All I have to say is a potato flew around the room.
Gragnar has been deemed the potato of the group.
Oh,
The
my
potato.
God.
It's either way, you would have been the food you were eating, my friend. You are what you eat. But y'all have a good night. We can go ahead and end it.
All right.
Again,
Y'all have a
you
good
guys,
one.
Good night.
You
Again.
too.
open DM policy. If there's anything you think we could do better, this is only our first session, but feel free to let me know.
So are we
Alrighty.
we're doing every other Wednesday, correct?
Correct.
Every
It'll be
other
2 weeks from
Wednesday.
now
All right.
at 7:30.
And for Illustria, it's going to be 7:30 for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, you're an hour ahead of us, so it'll be 8:30 for you.
No,
yeah.
me and Gragnar. It's
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah. So have fun. We will see you guys, and feel free to hit us up. Let me know what's going on, and we can have chats and fun shit. All
Yes.
right.
All right. I had
Wait,
fun.
just wait for all the potato TikToks I'm about to make.
Oh my god, yes,
no.
please.
The amount of
Anytime
TikToks
it's not even gonna be a drawing of a kobold, it's just gonna be a potato with a snoot. And rags.
Oh
I need
my
to get a
god.
better art for Gragnar because he does have like a bigger snout than what I can make on Hero
All
Forge.
I can see is in my head is this is your brain, and it's a potato. This is your brain on drugs, and it's Gragnar on fire running around.
I got the
And
potato!
guys.
I got the potato!
All right, good night, guys.
Good
Have a
night.
night.
Night.